Hey friends, welcome back to Entrepreneur Unlimited. It's been a minute since my last episode, February to be exact, and I want to start this one off a little differently. So instead of pretending like everything's been business as usual, I'm going to say what I wish more people would say out loud. Sometimes life just takes over, whether it's, personal challenges, health, grief, burnout, or just the weight of everything. It can pull you offline mentally, emotionally, and creatively. Today's episode is about what to do when that happens, when life pulls you offline. And it's not about how to hustle through it. This is definitely not a how to hustle through it guide. It's not about pretending the break never happened. It's about giving yourself space to pause, permission to feel, and then finding your way back with clarity and intention. So if you are in a season where you're trying to figure out how to show up again, or maybe wondering if you want to, this episode is for you. So let's talk about the elephant in the online room, that expectation to always be on, right? Especially as entrepreneurs or content creators, we're told to be consistent, to stay visible, and to keep showing up, even when our energy, our health, or personal life says otherwise. It's really easy to block out that voice that tells us to chill. And it's wild how quickly you can feel irrelevant just by being offline or staying quiet for a few weeks. We have big goals and we feel like if we're not grinding to meet those goals, then we're automatically failing. And that's just not true. I know how it feels to open your feed and it seems like everyone else is doing so much more. And they're building faster, they're launching louder, they're more successful. But here's the truth that I've come to embrace, or I'm embracing as I grow, that you are allowed to disappear to take care of yourself. You don't owe it to the internet and people you don't know, even the people that you do know, any sort of explanation for being human. Even if it feels like people forgot you while you're gone, the ones who truly connect with your work, they are still there and they're going to welcome you back when you come back online, because they're not just following your posts, they are following your voice. They want to hear what you have to say. So don't internalize the algorithm. Breaks are not shameful. They are a part of building something that lasts. If you are not taking care of yourself, you are not going to show up as your best version of yourself online. And that can come across as inauthentic anyway, and nobody wants that, right? Everybody wants the real, the raw, the truth, and the authentic. So I want to share a bit of a framework that you can use if you feel like you've had to go offline because of personal obligations or because your mental health just can't do it. Maybe you feel uninspired, maybe you've run out of ideas, maybe you just need a break. Especially when the world feels so heavy, we have to think, okay, maybe I feel a bit better now. I want to get online intentionally. How can I do that? Some people like a plan. So here's a plan. Why don't we think about this as like a realignment reset? We want to realign with why we're doing this in the first place. First and foremost, give yourself permission to pause. You can't come back strong if you don't feel like you've let yourself fully rest. And I don't mean rest while secretly panicking about engagement, right? We can't rest and doom scroll. We have to actually rest. And sometimes that means mentally unplugging, emotionally processing, physically recovering, right? Whatever it is that you need to pause, rest, get yourself back together and come back to it. You're not lazy, you're healing, you are resting, you are giving yourself permission to pause. Give yourself permission without turning it into a project. You don't need to strategize your comeback. The moment you take a break, you need to exist without pressure. When you release the guilt around stopping, you actually create space for clarity. And I feel like clarity always beats forced content. I didn't want to come back until I felt like I was in a mental space to do that. I didn't want to force it because I feel like when you force it, you can feel that through the mic. You can feel that while you're listening to this, while you're reading the captions, whatever it is, the message, you can really feel it when it's forced. So don't worry so much about what it's going to look like when you come back to your online content or your online presence. Just take the break and come back. Sometimes coming back doesn't mean doing what you used to do. Maybe what you used to do was burning you out. So start maybe with a little bit of freshness by checking in with your purpose. Maybe you had a plan, got derailed, life is happening. So maybe you don't want to come back trying to pick up where you left off. Maybe you actually want to reevaluate your purpose with what you're doing in the first place. So ask yourself things like, what do I actually care about helping people with right now? What message or content feels important to say out loud? Am I the one that needs to say it? And if so, what does that look like? What energy do I want to bring back into my work? If you're still feeling kind of blah about like where you are, if you still feel like you're not quite energized or you haven't rested enough, then your energy is going to be a little subdued, right? So if you want to bring like high energy to your online presence, maybe it's not the time now. Maybe it's not quite the time yet. Maybe you need a bit more time. You might be surprised at how much has shifted, and that's not a bad thing, right? Let your next chapter reflect the version of you that grew when you did take space. We're in Mental Health Awareness Month right now. Like sometimes you need to go through some darkness to come out the other side. You need to go through the hardness of life and you need to reflect on that. You need to think about, where was I before? Fine, I had a plan, but maybe what I just went through changed that. And that's okay. We grew into where we are right now and who we are right now. And we need our next chapter to reflect that. So even if your content was working before, this is a chance to rebuild it or maybe shape it in a way that feels better, maybe more honest, more human, more sustainable. Life can add perspective. It can add substance, right? Use that. You don't have to share all the nitty-gritty details, but it might actually help you come back stronger. And then the next step would be to start small, but start intentionally. You don't need a big launch. You just need one honest moment, one video. It could be a social media post, an email, a text to a client, whatever feels light and aligned. Personally, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a business tip. It wasn't a super long video. It wasn't anything too intense, but it helped me kind of get back on my feeds. And it felt light and aligned with where I was at the moment. What matters is the intention behind it. I always tell clients, don't aim so much for visibility, aim for resonance, right? If one person listens and feels seen, you've already done your job. This episode, this is my next step. Not because I have figured it all out, but because I'm ready to move forward gently and honestly. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, this is me, this is how I have felt lately, I've been gone, how do I even come back? What do I even have to say? Here's a little reset that you can do right now. So grab a notebook or just take a quiet moment to reflect, grab your notes app on your phone, and try to reflect on these 3 prompts. Number 1, what feels aligned right now? And it's okay if it changed. We are learning, we are growing. We do not have to be the same person that we were even a month ago. Number 2, what no longer fits or serves me? And number 3, what's one small intentional way that I can show up this week? If you're ready to get back, if you feel good about getting back and you're ready to put content out there again, what's one way that you can show up? Maybe it's a short, maybe it's a reel, maybe it's a post, maybe it's a podcast. You just need one moment that feels real, because that will help you connect again with your plan, your purpose, and your audience. So let yourself return slowly, thoughtfully, and not for the audience, but for yourself. If you do it for yourself, you will automatically connect with your audience. I promise you that. I know this might be a shorty, but it's definitely a goodie. And if you're still here, thank you. Thank you for giving me space. Thank you for coming back and tuning in to this episode. And thank you more than anything just for being on this journey with me. Even if I have gone radio silent for 2 months, it's definitely not because I don't still love what I do and I'm not passionate about what I do, but life is lifing. And with the business that I run and teaching and living life and just having a personal life happening in and around all of the things that I do, I can't always be on. And nobody should ever feel like they always have to be on. One thing I tell my students when it comes to content creation is that you will not always feel your best. So when you do feel good, when you do have energy, when it does feel aligned and it does feel good, try to batch a bunch of content so that even on your darkest days, your tired days, your restful days, you'll have content pumping out if you feel like you need to be consistently showing up. That's how it's done. That's how I wish I could show up all the time, but even batch creating content takes time, right? So we're all learning, we're all growing. I'm in the thick of this just as much as the people that I help. I live and breathe what I teach. I don't have it all figured out. I don't think anybody does. And anybody that tells you different is lying to you. We all have strategies. We all have lessons learned. We're all putting our lessons into practice. And if I can share anything with you that might help you along the way, that's it. That's the goal. That's what this is all for. So if this episode resonated, I would love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Tawny Unlimited. And let me know, are you in the same boat? How do you come back from taking a break? Do you get scared to take breaks because you fear that you're going to lose everything? I really do love hearing from you. I love the messages that I get. And know that more episodes are coming. I'm creating them with more clarity and more heart than ever before. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned, because this next chapter, this next roll of content, it's going to be more you and me, real talk. Let's build it right kind of energy. We're not hustling through this stuff. We are taking rest. We are taking pause, and we are giving ourselves grace. This isn't a comeback. We don't always have to come back with this big season of new. We don't have to say, I'm back, look at me. We just need to reset, pause, and then flow together. And I'm so glad we're doing it together. Until next time, take care of yourselves, rest, pause, and stay intentional.